I love the idea of baseball having, this history that goes back to, well, even before the 1800s. But, knowing these players that I guess I grew up hearing about, Mickey Mantle and Joe DiMaggio and Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig, in my head, because I had only kind of seen photos of them in books or grainy movie footage that my father would show me, like these guys were all black and white. They didn't live in the same world as I did, so there was kind of like a disconnect. And I guess when I got older, I kind of fell in love uh, with painting and kind of being attracted to light and color and kind of how it shapes the world around us. And I just kind of combined that with the baseball stuff, like what if I could paint Babe Ruth as if he was living, in color, like sitting in front of me or standing in front of me. And for whatever reason, the appeal to that it's never left me. It's kind of like all I want to do. It's kind of all I think about and all I care about, which is a bit disconcerting at times, but it's something that feels right and kind of like tugs at all the heartstrings that I think art is kind of supposed to tug at.
I love that. You've painted everybody from Babe Ruth to Mike Trout. So I'm also interested in knowing, how has your knowledge of baseball grown, changed, been impacted along the way?
It's kind of like my knowledge base of the game grows with each painting. It kind of grows in a weird way, though, because I've become more familiar with how things look visually, whether it's like a weird detail of a uniform from a particular year or a specific advertisement that was in a ballpark. I'm still learning more about the history, and obviously I still have a ton more to learn, but it's kind of like I'm in this really lucky situation where I get to paint these men and women playing baseball, and amazingly enough, people actually commission me to do that, and I'm getting paid to learn, which is awesome.
What a great way to look at it. I have to ask you, do you have favorite pieces?
I do. It changes from, I'd say from day to day or minute to minute. I've painted Lou Gehrig giving his famous farewell speech a couple of times, and there are a couple of versions of those that I really like. A couple of paintings of Mickey Mantle that my father has always kind of reacted positively to. I also really I like painting the lesser known players. It's especially satisfying to do Yankees because, I grew up a Yankee fan, and it's kind of like that's the first team I learned anything about. So if I'm painting someone from the 27 Yankees, I'm painting Eddie Bennett, who is the bat boy / mascot. That's awesome. I love painting those people that that a lot of fans today don't really know much about, if any. It's just kind of like bringing those people back to life and kind of celebrating that they're as much a part of the overall tapestry of the game as Babe Ruth is or Lou Gehrig is.
Is there another project you're working on that you can tell us about?
Sure. I mean, I am not painting Aaron Judge as of yet. I have a few images of him in mind that I'd like to paint, but right now I'm just kind of trying to get through a pretty serious backlog of commission stuff. But I do have a lot of Yankees that I'm painting. This is Mickey Mantle kind of answering fan mail during his rookie year in 1951. I love the image. I love the the Norman Rockwell quality of the scene. I love how narrative it is. It's one of those things that's uniquely baseball, and it has a strong story to it, and kind of elevates to, in my opinion, kind of elevates it to kind of like a fine art piece in a way that some of the others might not.
Just a perfect example of visual historian. Thank you so much for your time today. And we are so pleased to introduce you to any Yankees fans that may not have yet known you, but they sure will now.
Thank you so much for having me, Nancy. I appreciate it.